$400 non-refundable deposit upfront. David and Elena paid the deposit. Trent showed up on the night of the party wearing a black turtleneck, carrying a single camera body and no flash equipment. He spent the evening weaving through the crowd, occasionally snapping a photo, but mostly eating the free appetizers and talking about his upcoming art installation. "Are you getting good shots?" Elena had asked him anxiously halfway through the night, noticing how dark the room was. "I don't just get shots, Elena," Trent had replied, tapping his temple. "I capture the essence. Trust the process." 3 weeks later, Trent sent them a digital link to a gallery titled The Rostova Experience. David and Elena sat on their couch, opened a bottle of wine, and clicked the link. Their excitement quickly turned into sheer, unadulterated horror. There were only 42 photos in the gallery. Of those 42, at least half were completely out of focus, blurry streaks of color where faces should have been. Several photos were extreme close-ups of half-eaten plates of pasta. The pictures of David and Elena cutting their anniversary cake were so underexposed they looked like they were standing in a cave. Not a single photo featured both of Elena's parents looking at the camera. David immediately emailed Trent, demanding an explanation and the raw files. Trent's reply was swift and condescending. "David, you're looking at this through a traditional, bourgeois lens. The blur represents the fleeting nature of time. The darkness symbolizes the intimacy of a decade-long marriage. It's avant-garde bokeh. I do not release raw files. You owe me the remaining $400. David didn't send the $400. Instead, he served Trent with a lawsuit for the return of the initial $400 deposit, claiming breach of contract and failure to deliver a competent service. Case for 1142, Rostova v. Callaway. The judge looked at the laptop screen situated on her bench, clicking through the digital evidence file David had submitted. She paused on a particularly egregious photo blurry, greenish smear that was supposedly Elena's grandmother. "Mr. Callaway," the judge said, looking up at the photographer, who stood at the podium looking fiercely misunderstood, "can you explain what I am looking at in Exhibit C?" "That is a study in motion, Your Honor," Trent said proudly. "It captures the kinetic energy of the dance floor." "It captures a smudge, Mr. Callaway," the judge replied dryly. "And what about Exhibit D? A close-up of a dirty fork resting on a napkin. It's a commentary on consumption and celebration." The judge sighed, taking off her reading glasses. "Mr. Callaway, you were not hired by the Museum of Modern Art to create a commentary on consumption. You were hired by a husband and wife to take clear, well-lit photographs of their family and friends at a 10th anniversary party. Art is subjective, Judge," Trent argued, crossing his arms. "Art may be subjective, but contract law is objective," the judge countered swiftly. "When you hold yourself out as a professional event photographer and accept money to document a specific event. There is an implied warranty of basic competence. The client expects photos where the subjects are recognizable, in focus, and properly exposed. You failed on all 3 counts. I spent for hours there. Trent protested. My time is valuable. My contract explicitly states the deposit is non-refundable. A non-refundable deposit clause protects you from a client canceling, the judge explained, her patience wearing thin. It does not give you license to show up, eat their meatballs, take 40 blurry pictures of nothing, and walk away with their money. You fundamentally breached the contract by failing to provide the service you advertised. The judge turned to David and Elena, who were watching the exchange with grim satisfaction. You cannot sue for the memories you lost, unfortunately. But you certainly do not have to pay this man for ruining the ones he managed to capture. She picked up her pen. Mr. Calloway, your avant-garde bokeh is just a fancy excuse for poor camera skills and a lack of proper lighting equipment. I am voiding the remainder of the contract, and I am ordering you to return the plaintiff's initial deposit. The judge signed the order. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. And Mr. Calloway, if you want to be an avant-garde artist, I suggest you find patrons who are willing to pay for blurry smudges. Don't practice on people's anniversaries. The gavel struck. David squeezed Elena's hand. They didn't have the photos they wanted, but as they walked out of the courtroom, they knew they at least had a fantastic story and their money back. The rules of the game: a New York Chronicle, based on the lives of Jeff, Audrey, Adam, Jennifer, and Russell. Chapter 1: The High-Definition Sanctuary. The blue light of a 1080p high-definition television has a way of turning a modest New York living room into a high-tech cathedral. For Jeff Bingham, it was more than just a screen. It was a testament to his philosophy of life. If you were going to sit on a sofa for 4 hours on a Saturday, you might as well see the beads of sweat on the quarterback's forehead in crystal clarity. That was great. Man, Adam Rhodes sighed, leaning back into the cushions of Jeff's sofa. The game was over, the highlights were rolling, and the air in the apartment smelled faintly of hops and buffalo wing sauce. I love watching games on your TV. It's like being there, but without the cold or the $14 hot dogs. Jeff grinned, a standard issue expression of masculine triumph. He cracked open another beer, the 6-pack admission charge Adam had brought over, and took a satisfied swig. Well, you keep bringing the beer, and you're welcome anytime. My door is always open to a man who understands the importance of pixel density. Adam stared at the screen, then down at his own hands, as if realizing the drabness of his own reality. All I know is, when I watch my regular load of TV, I want to stab myself in the eyes with a fork. Everything is just fuzzy. It's like the whole world has cataracts. Well, don't do that, Jeff advised, his voice deadpan. then you won't be able to find your way